Hello, I am FedoraG4mer, and today we are kicking it with Dungeonmans. This is a roguelike in the more traditional sense compared to a lot of the games with roguelike elements I've been covering lately. It is currently on Kickstarter to get funding to finish it off. The pre-alpha demo is available for download to play on the Kickstarter page, so you should go ahead and grab this and try it out yourself. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of what this has to offer. Let's get a name in here, I think. It won't let you reuse names after a character dies. There is permadeath like there is in pretty much anything with roguelike elements. Let's see. It gives you a selection of 4 skill blocks that are randomly generated that you choose from, or you can choose not to use any of them, retire that character name, and start over. I'm probably going to play an archer type character. But I like this skill block better just because a lot more strength means, well, strength. Yeah, this game is a roguelike that's very lighthearted in a sense of humor. The skills, or excuse me, stats have strange names, humorous names like strength, skills, science, which is the use of items pretty much, foom, which is magic, and bombast, which is, it's kind of like charisma in most games. Go with this one. You have several different classes you can choose from to start out with. Fightermans, Rangermans, Wizardmans, Necromancer, which is locked in the, oh, you can unlock it. You unlock it, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Dungeonmans, which is a clean slate, and you choose all the skills yourself. Bannermans, coming soon, so this one's unlockable in this demo. I will go with Rangermans. Then you choose a couple perks. Go with that. Mana and stamina recovery. Then you choose a portrait. Unfortunately, there's only one archer type portrait, and it's a female. So I'll go with this sword guy, even though I won't be using swords. Again, this is a very pre-alpha. And you start, once it loads in. Let's see. Alright. This is the Dungeonmans Academy. This is static. The game, most of the game is procedurally generated, as you expect from anything that's a roguelike. But the Dungeonmans Academy is static. And by finding artifacts in the procedurally generated dungeons, you can bring them back here and upgrade the Academy, which then gives bonuses to that character and all new characters. So it has a somewhat of a, well, I can't think of the term right now. I'm gonna go over here to this guy though. It has something of a persistent progression system, which you see a lot more in modern games with roguelike elements. You don't see a whole lot in a traditional roguelike type. And I am able to increase one of my stats because of an artifact my previous dead character had found. And I believe I can... Let's see, yep, I can identify tier 1 potions, have them identified right out of the gate. Quite useful so you don't drink deadly things, you know. Let's go to the overworld real quick. The overworld map is static as well, but every location in it is procedurally generated. And the progress you make... I'll avoid that. The progress you make at uncovering the map remains between characters. Let's just go to the very simple newbie dungeon real quick before I get myself killed out on the world map. Now I've beat this dungeon a few times with other characters, but it's new every time you come back to it, every time you start a new character, and there's really nowhere else to go that you won't get completely destroyed. So I am playing an archer character, so I am just arrowing everything to death from a range, which seems really easy the first few floors of this. It is all keyboard controls at this point in time. A comment the developer left on the comment section of the Kickstarter did state he's going to add mouse control support. Just hasn't got there yet. Just threw in simple controls that are functional for right now. I would also like to see some native gamepad control support personally. You could set up gamepad support with something like Joy to Key or X Padder. Okay, let's use a skill. See, I don't know why it does that sometimes. I should have a skill. I should start with skill, but then it tries to tell me I can't use it. It's happened to me before. Let's pick up. Everything's auto loot, which is useful. Less key presses. Let's see. Equipment. We'll equip that instead of the gimpy little dagger I have. That'll work. There. Now, I don't get it. Now I can use the skill. Which you start with one skill as a ranger man that is very, very helpful of a skill. One thing I really like is the range attack auto aims at the nearest enemy that's within range. A lot less time spent aiming, especially if you're only have keyboard controls. That would end up being terribly annoying. I'll show you stick and move now. This you have to keyboard aim. Lets me jump 3 spaces away while shooting at the same time. Which, being a ranged character, as you would imagine, that is an extremely useful skill to start with. Picking up all the stuff. Nothing's too interesting yet. Leveled up, so now I can go spend some points here. I believe it is A. Yep. One thing that I don't really like so much is the armor types, light, medium, and heavy. It's not really viable to make a light armor build. It's just a stepping stone to get to medium, then to get to heavy, and they are all direct upgrades. It's not the light lets you dodge better, and medium dodge. It's not that kind of game. Which, in roguelikes, it's traditionally not. The heavier the armor, the better your survivability, so that's pretty normal. I think I'm going to get another skill, though. Shellbreaker shot. I got kind of hosed in my last game because I didn't bother picking that skill up. Then ran into a champion that had a ton of armor. That didn't end well for me. That's how FedoraG4mer the second died. As you can see, there is quite a bit to this game for being just an alpha. There's quite a bit of venturing to be done here already. One thing I will say is the music is pretty amazing. He has a great lineup of composers for the music. And if you go to the Kickstarter page, you can listen to some of the songs that I don't think are in the game quite yet. Some of them are just fantastic. I think I'll just get to the lower levels here. Now let's go ahead and just try out some things. Okay, yes, that one is already identified for me. I wish I could have scrolls pre-identified. It's the normal system you would see in a roguelike where the potions and scrolls, names, colors, etc. are randomized for each game, but then after you use it or identify it, all of them of the same color and name have the same effect, but every game it's randomized. The ability to identify the tier 1 potions right off the bat is very, very handy. Let's see what this does. Ignore laughable projectiles. Some of the scrolls have quite amusing names. As I said, this game has very much a sense of humor. Like some of the skill names, like just use one-handed weapons, is called Crushology. Kind of reminds me of Dungeons of Dreadmore in that respect when it comes to the humor. Okay, you're not dying very easily. Let's go over here. Let's do that again. Get off of me. Just die. I need to find a better bow is what I need. Okay. Oh, that's a ranged enemy, so anything that can shoot back at me I tend to not like very much. Let's pick up all this tons of stuff we just got. Scrolls, always useful, or deadly, one or the other. One thing I will say is, the control system definitely needs improved. There's ways it could be improved, you know, besides adding mouse support. Like using skills, I find it to be far too many key presses for what you're doing. To use my jump and shoot skill, or move and stick as it's called, jump and shoot is what I tend to call it. See if I can find an enemy and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. I had to press S, then select which skill, which it happens to select the right one for me this time, but not always. Then enter, then aim it, then enter. So yeah, it seems like quite a bit of effort for something as simple as just using a single skill. I would like to see maybe a skill bar system where you just hit one, then aim, and done. Instead of having to go into a menu, select it from a menu, etc., etc. And then adding mouse aiming would also improve that greatly. Not finding a whole lot in the barrels. Barrel breaking, pretty much classic for any gamer. We know that you are supposed to break every barrel in existence, because apparently they're bad for some reason. Oh, this guy's got armor. Uh-oh, I don't like this situation so much. Quit blocking. Jeez, that's expensive. Wow, it does a ton of damage too, though. Just die, just die. Okay. I need to rest. Oh, I can't rest. There's stuff in my face. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my HP while moving. There we go. This game does lack one key feature that you see in most roguelikes, and that is food system. There is no food whatsoever that I can tell, at least. So there's no starving to death. Which, you know, I'm on the fence. I'm pretty much indifferent on the subject if that's a good or a bad thing. I know a lot of hardcore roguelike players will pretty much hate that. But I find it to be a very annoying way to die when you're having a great run in a roguelike. You got powerful weapons, powerful items, good armor, and you die to starvation because the game doesn't feel like generating any food for you. That being said, I also kind of like that aspect as well. So as I said, I'm pretty indifferent about it. I don't know if there's any plans to add that. This might be just because it is a very early alpha, so you might add that pretty much cornerstone of the roguelike genre. I'll be okay with it either way, but I'm just going to point it out for the hardcore roguelike fans. This is going pretty well so far. I still haven't found... Nope. Ooh. I think this is a champion or something. Let's get the balls out of here. Let's go. Okay, this guy takes quite a bit to kill. This might be the enemy at this rate. Die. I am out of stamina and I'm getting surrounded. Well, I killed him. This is bad. This will be the end of this character. Yes, it was. I would have been better off clearing the floors, but I was just moving forward to show you guys some more of the game. And send in feedback. As you can see, it's alpha, and he's very much open to feedback via the send in feedback in the game or on the Kickstarter campaign or what have you. Well, this has been Dungeonmans. I won't lie, I'm a huge fan of roguelikes in general. Roguelikes and the new action games with roguelike elements that we're seeing a big wave of lately. I love roguelikes, so I will be back in this game. If you're a fan of roguelikes, have any interest in this, go get the demo yourself, play it, and back if it interests you. I've been FedoraG4mer. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.